Hi and welcome to Sword vs. Dragon, where I show you why Dungeons & Dragons is a badly designed game and how I fixed it in my own system, Ishanekon World Shapers. Today we're going to talk about how Dungeons & Dragons is only designed for combat and pretty much nothing else. To be fair, there's nothing wrong with focusing on one or two aspects when designing a game and enhancing that aspect. What is a problem is when people try to play Dungeons & Dragons as anything else other than a heroic fantasy game, trying to press it into horror games, social intrigue, and so forth and so forth. First of all, as we all know, most of the rules in Dungeons & Dragons revolve around combat. But that's not the main problem. The main problem is that it's really hard to construct a character that is not made for combat. Almost every class has built-in features that are only useful for combat and post-combat recovery. And even the few that don't have, usually just have subclasses, which are filled with combat-related features, like the sorcerer. Really, the only exception I could find is taking a wizard, only taking non-combat spells, and then picking something like School of Illusion. Then you can have a character with literally no combat proficiencies, other than the natural high HP that every character has in Dungeons & Dragons. Which also, to be fair, the wizard is not pretty strong in that category, and with a negative constitution modifier, you could actually enforce the squishiness of that character. But as you can see, we really had to force this. Ishanekon, on the other hand, is a system that prides itself in allowing you to play whatever you want. This includes allowing you to build a character which is not built for combat at all. How did I achieve this? First off, the main archetype feature of 7 of the 10 archetypes can also be useful for utility. The creative archetype, for example, allows you to learn more abilities from more archetypes, which could all be utility. Mental allows you to regain willpower more quickly, which you could use for utility abilities. Reality allows you to force certain dice results, which can be useful in skill checks outside of combat, and so on. Also, there are a total of 12 sub-archetypes, which are purely built for utility, like the expert and multi-talent, which focus on skills, or the thinker and the problem solver, who focus on utility abilities. And also more specific sub-archetypes, like the tracker, who focuses on nature exploration, or the charmer, who focuses on his charisma and roleplay, or even the financier, who is all about generating as much money as he can. This does not include all the sub-archetypes, which can be played for full utility characters, like the faithful weaver, which allows you to reroll dice, or the inventor, which is focused on equipment, which could be just built for utility like skills and utility abilities. In Ishanekon World Shapers, you also have to pick a path, which determines the core mechanic on which your character revolves around, like Path of Attack, which focuses on weapons attacks, or Path of Control, which focuses on control abilities. And of course, there's a Path of Utility, which allows you to use a variety of utility abilities for free, or the Path of Skills, which massively increases the amount of skill points you get. Of course, we cannot forget all those utility talents and the massive amount of utility abilities that Ishanekon World Shapers offers, giving you plenty of options when building a utility character and not boxing you into one specific approach when it comes to out-of-combat usefulness. If that is still not enough, you can pick negative traits which reduce your vitality or make you horrible at wielding weapons, so that your character is really useless in combat. Of course, but what about making campaigns that do not mostly revolve around combat, where your characters are supposed to feel vulnerable? Ishanekon World Shapers has a variety of alternative rules to allow you to build such campaigns with minimal modifications. For example, if you want to feel more vulnerable, you could pick Mere Mortal, which highly limits the power progression of your character. For a more horror-focused campaign where your adventurers are supposed to feel vulnerable, or more a realistic approach where you're still playing as trained soldiers but not superhumans. And then there is the only human rule, which fully limits you to normal human capabilities. If you want to play a noir game, for example, or cosmic horror game similar to Call of Cthulhu. All of these options not only help you build characters which are not made for combat, but allows you to build whole and group dynamics for stories where combat is not the focus. I hope you enjoyed my little deep dive. The whole rule set of Ishanekon World Shapers is 100% free on my website, link in the description below. And next time I will be talking about how the stats in Dungeons and Dragons are completely unbalanced and how I fixed that in Ishanekon World Shapers. Hope to see you there. Bye! Feel free to join our Discord group, link also in the description below. Also, if you want to test out Ishanekon World Shapers for yourself, on the 8th of June there will be the next Ishanekon Arena, where everybody who wants to play is invited, up to 6 players. Do you have what it takes to stand against the undead horde? See you there. Bye!